Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking our second look through the Great Pan series of books. This is from approximately Great Pan 125 up to Great Pan about GP250, around that sort of figure. So that's what we're going to be having a look at today, and there's some really great stuff in here. There's some Agatha Christie, some Ian Flemings, some great movie tie-ins, all sorts. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. So we're picking up pretty much where we left off last time. This is Great Pan 127, and I think we got up to about 125 on the last video. And I've pulled out all my Great Pans up to GP or G250. So I don't have all 125. Some of them weren't issued. Some of them are just straight reprints, which I've never really picked up. And I just don't have every one. But I have got quite a few for us to have a look at today, and some hopefully really good ones. So as I recall, this is the first crossword book that we've come across. This one, like a lot of the crossword books, I'm not too worried about having it in like a first edition or anything like that, or even if it's been untouched. I'm just happy to actually own a copy. But that's G127. Strange Inheritance, Simonon. Now, I'm not sure if this is definitely a crime one. I'm not sure what series it's part of, but I do love a Simonon. G131, The Last Cannibals. Look at that. She's a charmer, but she's a cannibal. Oh dear. One thing we ought to do is just check the date. So this edition published 1958. Gives us a sort of idea of when these were printed. Down in the Drink, Ralph Barker. A Rex cover. Oh dear. For heroism, endurance and sheer excitement. 8 short stories. Looks like RAF crewmen being stranded during the war. In the Drink, as they say. Oh, a crime one here. Josephine Tay, The Man in the Queue. Inspector Grant investigates. Oh, great. Cover that one, eh? 134. The Man in the Queue, the great British pastime. Queuing. The DA Takes a Chance. Earl Stanley Gardner. Pef cover here. He's got his little signature just in the corner there. Yeah, very nice. Very nice cover, that one. Brilliant, eh? The Mystery of Lourdes. Ruth Cranston. Can miracles happen? Don't know. 137. Henry Cecil. Full Circle. Outrageous Behaviour of Professor Melton. Under the Influence. Geoffrey Kerr. Harry could see it all coming. Typical sort of... Looks like he's in the pub, doesn't it? Yeah. Looks like another like crimey one. Escape of the Amethyst. C.E. Lucas Phillips, author of Cockleshell Heroes. An epic of naval daring. Oh, there we go. Pan still popping in the occasional war-related title, because it was a huge genre at the time, of course. War in the Air. Gerald Bowman. A fascinating survey of air powers in the 2 world wars. Non-fiction title. A photo insert there in the middle. This is Agatha Christie. Lovely cover there of A Murder is Announced. Great jacket, that one, isn't it? imagine, you know, when I was brand new, that would have really sort of shouted out on the bookshelves, you know. I would really love to see, or I do enjoy seeing photographs of old bookshops. Just love them, particularly when there's loads of cool books on display that you can sort of pick out the titles and that. Erskine Caldwell, another little classic, God's Little Acre. This is the tie-in, now filmed starring Robert Ryan. There's still on the back there. Tie-in to that classic. The Hunters, James Salter, They Lived and Died Alone. This is another movie tie-in. This one stars Robert Mitchum in the title role. It does look a bit like him there on the front. Start a new pile there. G154, Variable Winds at Jalna. Mazo de la Roche. Another PEF cover, that one, signed. Very nice. Always remember my gran reading these old pan Mazo de la Roches, and the plantation novels she used to like as well. I remember those. Another Erskine Caldwell, perhaps one of the most famous ones, Tobacco Road. 4 million copies sold. I wonder if this is the first pan. I think it probably is. No, it's actually the reprint. So first published 1958, reprinted 1958. Yeah, so there you go. Thought that was quite a popular one. But I don't mind having the odd reprint. It doesn't bother me. Dark Duet, Peter Cheyney. Another nice detailed cover. But I can't find his signature on that one. No Stars to Guide. Adrian Seligman, Running the Axis Blockade. Another sort of naval action book by the look of it. I think this is the first time we've seen David Attenborough. So David Attenborough is still around today, but he was certainly his first TV shows was a series called Zoo Quest, which he did for the BBC, and inevitably there was a couple of tie-in books to it, and this is one of the earliest. Now this is 1958. I was looking at a post on Facebook and someone pondered the query, what is the first TV tie-in? And a few people said possibly The Twilight Zone, Sergeant Bilko TV tie-in, and this would got to be up there as well as the Zoo Quest TV tie-in. What do you know? What was the earliest TV tie-in that you can think of? Not a movie tie-in, a TV series tie-in. So if TV sort of got big, about 1955, 56, it's books from that period, isn't it? I would think. So the Pan Book of Dogs. As I said, when you collect Pan books, you do get a real good variety. And the Pan Book of Cats. So, cats and dogs were catered for with Pan. And they were sort of, I would imagine they were published almost simultaneously, I would imagine. HMS Thule intercepts Alistair Mars. An amazing record of the grim undersea war against the Japanese. Oh yeah, look at that submarine cover there. More submarine thrills from Alistair Mars. The submarine saga, if there was such a thing. Nancy Wake, Russell Braddon. An Australian girl who led an army. Her amazing story superbly told by the author of The Naked Island. Rex cover there. Excellent. The Enormous Shadow. This is G175. A thriller novel of immense pace. The Star. The Man in the Brown Suit. Another Agatha Christie there. It is a PEF cover, but the signature's almost off the cover there. But that's nice, isn't it? You see the London Underground there. A robust thriller by the Queen of Crime. There she is at her typewriter. It's a nice cover, isn't it? Widow's Web, Ursula Curtis. A first-rate American thriller. Pef again. I really like that. That's so good, isn't it, that one? Peeking through the Venetian blinds. Yeah, I think that's the best sort of cover we've seen so far today. Very, very nice, that one. Oh, and there's another copy of it. Now, why have I got two? Ah. Looks like I've got a priced and unpriced one. So let's just check the printings. Yeah, that's the first from 1958. And the same. So we would ascertain that one of these was the UK edition, and that one, this one here, the better condition one, was possibly for export. But that happens now and again, so that's why I've got two copies of that one. And these things, these things do happen. Let's make a tiny bit more room over there, so we got a room for the next pile. A Gun for Inspector West, John Creasy. Never really got into the Inspector West books, I have to say. They're not really my thing. I never got round to them. Atomic Energy, Egon Larson. The Layman's Guide to the Nuclear Age. A pan sticker on the front, so I'm not sure. That must be covering up a price again, I would think. Yes, I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Auntie Mame, Patrick Dennis. Now filmed, starring Rosalind Russell, for release by Warner Brothers. Never heard of it, I have to say. Straight and Crooked Thinking, Robert H. Thowles. This practical book by the eminent psychologist tells you how to think clearly and avoid muzzled reasoning. Okay. It's probably the plainest cover we've seen all day, isn't it, that one? And then we got this, what a classic, a John Steinbeck, The Moon is Down. Ruthless invaders in the grip of fear. Very much like John Steinbeck. The books are short on the whole, but very enjoyable. The Courting of Susie Brown, Erskine Caldwell. Another great, great jacket, that one. Look at that. Author of God's Little Acre and Tobacco Road, which had already been published in Pan. There he is. That was number 190. This is 195, so the Pan Book of Party Games. Joseph Edmondson. Here is a wonderful collection of games for all ages and all occasions. Cool. And this one here is G127. So this is the first reissue of Colditz with ever so slightly adjusted cover. Very similar to the original Colditz story, but this is just the reprint. And because I'm a Colditz fan, I have picked this one up, even though it's this is the way. So this will be, that was the original edition in 1954, reprinted 9 times. Then the 10th edition, which is this one, which was reset in 1958. If you are at all interested in Colditz and the Colditz books, I have done a brand new video just on the history of Colditz and the TV show and that, which I'll link to above. So I've just adjusted the camera ever so slightly so we can get a bit more in. So now we've got G198, which is Casino Royale, and this is obviously the reprint of Casino Royale. This is the one with the PEF cover. Lovely jacket. This is obviously still before the movies had been released, so 1958. So this was the 3rd edition of Casino Royale. Then we've got The Quickness of the Hand, James Mayo. The best thriller since Brighton Rock. Well, everyone remembers Brighton Rock. I don't know many people who remember The Quickness of the Hand. If you've never read Brighton Rock, boy, that's a good book. And a great film, actually. 204 says is The Lady in the Morgue. Jonathan Latimer. Fast, funny, and gruesome. Pef cover again. There's a lot going on there, isn't there, in that? It's a great cover. I wish I had a better copy of that one. .207, Do It Yourself. Well, there's been a lot of that happening in the lockdown. A lot of people doing do-it-yourself and doing up their gardens. The Complete Guide to Decoration and Repairs, a Pan original. There we are. Not very well illustrated, is it? Those are the sorts of books I think are probably quite scarce these days. Another Erskine Caldwell, Journeyman. Great jacket again. Looks like the same artist, but I don't know who that artist is who's done all the Erskine Caldwell books, but they've done a great job there again. Look how she's just chewing her little finger there. It's good, isn't it? 208. This is 213, The High Girders, John Preble. It's another nice cover, isn't it? Tay Bridge Disaster, 75 die. Nice perspective cover. So it says, like the sinking of the Titanic and the loss of airship R101, the collapse of the first Tay Bridge ranks among the world's greatest disasters. Well, there you go. I don't know if it is one of the world's greatest disasters, but Pan thought it good enough to do a book on it. So a nice little saint book here. First saint book we've seen today, Leslie Charteris. The Saint Plays with Fire. Cool. The saint is plunged into a vortex of violence with an international arms ring whose agents stop at nothing. Let's start this little row here. This is our last pile now. Moonraker. This is the Pef cover for Moonraker. Great book. The second of the Bond books. I was once again on Facebook recently, and a chap was showing off his collection, and he had a huge run of lots of different editions. So he'd take one book, say like Moonraker, and he'd have like 20 different editions of it. Absolutely fantastic. And he'd done that for all the separate Bond novels. Incredible. 39 Steps, John Buchan. This is the film tie-in edition with Kenneth More. Classic book, 39 Steps. That was 218. 220, Powder and Patch, Georgette Heyer. One of her historical romances, a Pef cover there. Quite nice. I've only ever read the Georgette Heyer crime novels. Letter from Peking, Pearl S. Buck. I know these have their fans for sure. Oh, Pearl S. Buck, beautiful cover that. DeMarco. Yeah, nice copy of that one. And look at this. Someone's name, 14 College View, Mutley, Plymouth. There you go. 1959. 61 years old. Inside the CID. Peter Beveridge. The Fight Against Big Time Crime. From Russia with Love. Ian Fleming. Pef cover again. He did all the redesigned ones, giving it a uniform look. Death Trap for James Bond. Now, is this the first, or is this the reissue? I can't remember, No, this was the first of 1959, so that was the first edition of From Russia with Love. Very, very nice. Great perspective cover, and a nice copy of that one as well. Excellent stuff. This is G230, Complete and Free, by Eric Williams, Travel and Adventure in Post-War Europe, by the author of The Wooden Horse. Classic escape story. The Way of a Surgeon, George Sava. Intimate Case Histories Revealed. The Way of the Surgeon, eh? Yeah, clever people, surgeons. Very clever people. Gideon's Week, J.J. Marrick. A Vivid Story of Scotland Yard. A bit of a tatty old copy, that one. It's a bit like the Pan crime books, you know. When they do turn up, often they're very, very well read, unless you're particularly lucky. This is nice. So modern American humour, G236. This has got an infinity cover. So you see the cover, and the policeman's reading a copy of this very book in infinity. So it's like an infinity cover there. This is short stories, essays, which are apparently funny. So modern American humour, 236. 238. This is Woman Pilot by Jackie Mogridge. Amazing story of flying in peace and war. I think this one's quite scarce as well, as I recall. Quite a scarce one. I don't think it sold very well, so it's difficult to find today. A Secret Understanding, Merle Miller. Very, very beaten up old copy of this one, but it's there. It's one I haven't got. 241. The Walls Came Tumbling Down. The most moving war story since Anne Frank's diary. Henrietta Rosenberg. A woman in a prison camp. It looks like a Russian prison camp or something along those lines. A few more now. So this is 243. Says Nor the Moon by Night, Joy Packer, by the author of Valley of the Vines. I don't know anything about that. Looks like a bit of a sort of a romancy title. Danger Within, Death in Captivity, Michael Gilbert. Now film starring Richard Todd, Michael Wilding, Richard Attenborough. So yet another escape movie. Danger Within. Pan were the masters, weren't they, of publishing the wartime memoir and escape stories in particular. Although it was Faber who got the Great Escape, but they had pretty much everything else. Gale Force, Elliston Trevor. Epic story of a ship, a man, and a pitiless sea. Another terrific jacket, that one, but I can't see any signature on it. Yeah, great book. They're cool, aren't they? And then the last one we've got to look at today, so this is G247, Inspector West at Bay by John Creasy. Vendetta Against the Yard. This one's covered by Key. Excellent. So there we are. So that's the next sort of my run of about 125 or so great pans. I know there's not 125 books there because, as I said, some of them were reprints and some of them weren't issued at all. But certainly quite a collection of decent pan books for you to have a look at. Now, give it about 3 or 4 weeks, I'll be back with the next batch of pans. So if you have enjoyed it today, do please give that one a thumbs up. Do please subscribe for regular vintage pan book content, as well as other paperback publishers. There's lots on the channel, and there's loads more to come. And I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.